Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take important source materials, really dig into them, and pull out the key knowledge you need.
We want to get you past the jargon and straight to understanding.
Exactly. And today we're tackling something that can feel, well, pretty overwhelming for a lot of people planning international travel.
Right. We're diving into the visa application process. It's a huge topic, especially if you're navigating it in English for the first time, maybe for study or work or even just a holiday.
Yeah, our listener materials really focused on the steps, the language, especially for that interview. So that's our mission today. Break it down, explain the key English words, and help you figure out what officials are looking for.
And crucially, what you need to say. We want to take some of that stress away, make you feel more prepared, more confident using the right English.
Okay, let's start right at the beginning. This might sound basic, but it's essential. What exactly is a visa?
Good starting point.
And maybe I should just quickly say we are not talking about the credit card, right?
Yeah.
Visa, MasterCard, not that.
Definitely not. No plastic today. A visa, the travel document, is basically official permission from a country's government
Permission to do what?
to enter their country.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
usually a stamp or a sticker they put inside your passport. Sometimes it's electronic now, too.
Okay.
And it legally allows you to travel there, enter, stay for a bit, or maybe leave. And this is key only for a specific reason.
Like tourism or study.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And only for a set amount of time. They tell you how long you can stay.
So it's like a very specific key for a very specific door for a limited time.
That's a good way to put it.
All right. So our goal here is to make that whole process clearer, give you the language, the vocabulary, the sort of tactical know-how.
Yeah, especially around that core challenge, proving you intend to go back home. That trips up a lot of temporary visa applicants. We'll dig into that.
Okay, let's get into it then. So you figure out you need a visa, step one, but then you realize, uh-oh, there isn't just one type of visa, is there?
Not at all. They're very specific. It totally depends on why you're going. Are you a tourist for 2 weeks? Or are you enrolling in a university for 3 years?
Completely different situations.
Completely. And the visa type reflects that. Understanding the category, the classification, that's really your first task. We often hear these codes, especially for the U.S., like B2 or F1.
Right. Let's start with maybe the most common one people think of, the tourist visa.
Okay, the tourist visa. In the U.S. system, that's often called the B2 visa. It's strictly for fun, basically.
So,
Well, leisure activities. Going on vacation, seeing the sights, visiting your friends or family.
okay.
But the really important rule for a B2 is you absolutely cannot work. No earning money. You can't sign up for a full degree course either. It's purely temporary enjoyment.
Got it. No work allowed on a tourist visa. What if you are going for something longer, like university? You mentioned resident visas earlier.
Right, so if the purpose is longer term, we move into different categories. The term resident visa can be a bit broad, actually.
How so? Does it mean you're moving there forever?
Not necessarily. That's a common confusion. It means you can legally reside there, live there, but often it's still for a fixed temporary period. Think students, for example. They reside there while studying.
Ah, okay. Which brings us to the F1 visa. I've heard that one mentioned a lot for students going to the U.S.
Exactly. The F1 is specifically for academic students. If you're accepted into a full university program, maybe a year abroad, or a 2-year master's degree, maybe longer, that's usually an F1.
And the rules are stricter for that, I imagine.
Much stricter than a B2 tourist visa. You have to prove you're actually enrolled in a proper, government-approved school. And this is a big one. You need to prove you have the money.
Money for what? Tuition, living.
Both. Usually, you need to show you can cover at least the first full year of tuition and your living expenses. This isn't just showing you can afford a holiday, it's proving substantial financial backing.
Wow, okay. So a simple bank statement might not cut it. You need proof those funds are really there for education.
Precisely. The financial check is much deeper for students because it's a long commitment. They need reassurance you won't end up needing financial help or working illegally.
Right. Makes sense.
This is often where you see things like official sponsor letters or maybe dedicated education funds being required.
Okay. And there was another one mentioned, similar but different, the J1 visa.
Yes, the J1, that's the exchange visitor visa. It covers a whole range of things like temporary work, summer jobs, maybe research programs, teaching exchanges, cultural programs.
So not full-time degree study like the F1.
Generally not. It's often shorter term, more specific exchange programs.
Mm-hmm.
And J1s sometimes come with a condition called the 2-year rule.
What's that?
For some participants from certain countries, it means after your J-1 program ends, you must go back to your home country for at least 2 years before you can apply for certain other U.S. visas, like permanent residency. It really emphasizes the exchange and temporary nature.
Okay, so quick recap for U.S. examples. B2 is tourism, F1 is study, J1 is exchange.
Got it. Now, thinking more generally, like from those application guides, what other common visa types should people know about globally?
Good question. These categories pop up everywhere. There's the obvious work visa. This is if you've actually been hired by a company in that foreign country to do a job.
And that usually needs the company's help, right?
Oh, absolutely. Typically, the employer has to sponsor you, meaning they handle a lot of the paperwork and prove they need your specific skills. It's often a complex process involving government approvals before you even apply for the visa itself.
Okay. Then there's the business visa. Sounds like work, but you said it's different.
Fundamentally different, yes. A business visa is for things like attending meetings, negotiating deals, going to industry conferences. You're not being employed by a local company. You usually can't earn a salary from the host country.
So it's professional activity, but still temporary, and you're based back home.
Exactly. Your income source remains in your home country. What about just passing through, like a long layover at an airport?
Ah, the transit visa.
Yeah.
Often overlooked. If your journey involves stopping in a country just to change planes, especially if you need to leave the international departures area or the stop is quite long, you might actually need a transit visa.
Really? Even just for a few hours?
Sometimes, yes. It depends on the country and your nationality. Always worth checking if you have a layover.
Good tip. And finally, the big one that changes the whole game, the immigrant visa.
Right. This is the one for people who plan to move and live permanently in the new country. They're seeking long-term residency, maybe citizenship eventually.
So all the others we discussed, tourist, student, exchange, business, they're all non-immigrant visas.
Correct. They're all based on the promise, the legal obligation that you will leave and return home eventually. The immigrant visa is the opposite. Your intention is to stay.
Okay, that distinction is crucial. But why all this complexity? Why do governments have so many specific visa types? Why not just one entry permit?
It really boils down to control and order for the host country. There are 3 main reasons. First, security.
Checking who's coming in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need to screen people, make sure they have legitimate reasons for visiting, and aren't a security risk. The visa type helps focus that check.
Makes sense. What's the second reason?
Control. Governments need to manage who is entering and leaving, how many people are in the country at any given time, and what they're doing. It's about monitoring population flows for planning things like infrastructure, services, border management.
Okay, security and control. And the third?
Regulation. This links back to our B2 versus F1 discussion. The visa allows the country to set and enforce specific rules for different types of visitors.
Like no working for tourists.
Precisely. Or you must attend classes full-time for students. The visa category is the legal tool they use. Without these specific types, it would be chaos. People could just arrive as tourists and start working or studying without the proper checks or permissions, which could affect the local job market or education system.
So the categories provide structure and allow enforcement.
That's the core idea. Okay, so we know why there are different visas, but now let's get practical with the English you'll actually use. Before you even fill out a form or think about the interview, there are 5 key words you absolutely need to understand and be ready to use.
All right, essential vocabulary time. Let's nail these down. First one, sponsoring or sponsor. What does that mean in this context?
Right. When someone sponsors you for a visa or a trip, they're basically taking formal financial responsibility for you.
Responsibility how?
They're guaranteeing to the government that you'll have enough money for your entire stay. They're covering your costs, flights, housing, food, emergencies, everything. It's a formal promise.
So if my parents pay for my trip to study abroad, they are my sponsors.
Exactly. Or if your brother invites you to visit him in, say, Canada, and he writes a letter saying he'll cover all your expenses while you're there, he's acting as your sponsor. It often involves signing official documents confirming this financial backing.
Got it. It's a formal financial guarantee. Okay, second term, invitation letter.
Ah, yes, the invitation letter. This is a really important document. It's a formal letter written by someone in the country you want to visit, maybe a friend, a relative, a university, or a company.
And what does it do?
It does 2 main things. 1, it formally invites you to come. 2, it clearly states the reason for your visit and often the planned dates. If it's visiting family, your relative writes it. If it's a business conference, the organizing company writes it.
And it can't just be casual, like, hey, come visit sometime.
Definitely not. It needs to be quite specific.
Hmm.
Who is inviting whom, for what exact purpose, for how long, where you'll stay, and crucially, who is paying for what. This letter is strong evidence for the visa officer about why you're traveling.
Okay, super important document. Now, the third word, you mentioned this earlier as being critical, ties.
Yes, ties. This is probably the single most important concept for most temporary visa applications, like tourist or student visas.
What does it mean? Like connections.
Exactly. Ties are the things that connect you strongly to your home country. They are the reasons, economic, social, family reasons, that convince the visa officer you have a compelling reason to return home after your visit.
You used the analogy of a rope earlier, pulling you back home.
Right. Think of it like that. The visa officer is trying to judge how strong that rope is. Will you definitely go back?
So what are concrete examples of these ties? What are they looking for?
They want to see evidence of a stable, established life back home that you wouldn't just abandon. The classic strong ties are things like owning property, like a house or apartment.
Okay, a mortgage is a big tie.
Huge tie. Having a spouse or young children back home. A stable, long-term job, especially a professional one, or running your own established business. Having significant savings or investments in your home country's banks.
So basically things that make it highly likely you'll return because you have too much to lose if you don't.
That's precisely the calculation they're making. If you're young, single, renting, maybe between jobs, your ties might appear weaker, and the officer might worry you're more likely to overstay.
So you really need to highlight any ties you do have. Okay, word number 4. Financially independent.
Financially independent. This just means you have enough money of your own to support yourself completely. You don't need anyone else like parents or a sponsor to pay for your trip or your living costs while you're abroad.
You can cover everything yourself.
Yes, your flights, accommodation, food, activities, it all comes from your own funds. Showing financial independence is very positive, as it reassures the government you won't become reliant on public funds or need to work illegally.
Standing on your own 2 feet, financially speaking.
Exactly.
All right, 5th and final keyword, assets. How is this different from ties or being financially independent?
It's closely related, but assets specifically refer to things of significant economic value that you own back home. They contribute to your financial picture and also act as strong ties.
Like what kind of things?
Well, property is a major asset, but it
Mhm.
could also be things like owning a car, having stocks or bonds, investments, maybe a valuable collection. These are tangible things that represent your wealth and stability in your home country.
And having assets gives you another strong reason to return to manage and protect that wealth.
Precisely. They show you have an established economic base at home.
Mm-hmm.
Often your assets and your ties overlap quite a bit, like owning a house is both a tie and an asset.
Okay, so sponsor, invitation letter, ties, financially independent, and assets. Got those 5 key terms down.
Mastering those is a huge step towards articulating your situation correctly.
Right. This brings us to the moment many people dread the actual visa interview. All the paperwork is done. Now you have to talk to an official. The sources suggest this is really a test of your story.
It absolutely is. You need to present a clear, consistent, and believable narrative that matches everything in your application. Let's think about a common scenario, like someone applying for that B2 tourist visa. Maybe they want to visit their brother in, say, Minneapolis for 3 weeks. Their brother might be sponsoring the trip, providing that invitation letter we talked about. The applicant needs to explain the purpose, clearly visiting family, but also really emphasize their own ties back home.
Like mentioning their job, maybe they own a house, have a pet.
Exactly. I have my engineering job back home. I only have 3 weeks of vacation approved. Here's the letter. I own my apartment. My dog needs me. They need to paint a picture of a life they are definitely returning to.
Right. Now, the sources mention a slightly funny, maybe unrealistic ending where the applicant accidentally gets offered a resident visa instead. We can chuckle about that, but let's focus on the real, serious questions they're likely to face. You said there are 3 really crucial ones.
Yes, 3 questions tend to form the core of most temporary visa interviews. Getting these right is critical. Question 1. Where is your final destination, and what is the purpose of your trip?
Okay, sounds straightforward. How should someone answer that?
The key here is clarity and specificity. Don't be vague. And match your answer exactly to the visa type you applied for.
So no saying, oh, I'm just going to travel around.
Not ideal, no. Be precise. If you're visiting your brother in Minneapolis, say, my final destination is Minneapolis, Minnesota. The purpose of my trip is tourism, specifically to visit my brother and his family for 3 weeks.
Very clear. What if it's for, say, a short business trip?
Same principle. I am traveling to San Francisco, California to attend the XYZ Industry Conference from June 10th to June 14th. Name the city, state, and the specific event or reason.
That precision removes doubt, doesn't it? It sounds professional and planned.
Exactly. And it immediately aligns with the visa category B2 for tourism, maybe a B1 or similar for business. If your stated purpose doesn't match the visa type, that's a huge red flag.
Right. Never say you're going to look for work if you're on a tourist visa application.
Instant rejection. Okay, second key question. How long do you plan to remain in the United States or whichever country?
Again, sounds simple. 3 weeks.
Yes, but be firm and consistent. I plan to stay for exactly 21 days, or my intended stay is 4 weeks. The crucial point here is that this duration must match what's on your application form.
Ah, consistency again.
And it should ideally match your invitation letter if you have one, and very importantly, your booked return flight ticket. You should bring proof of your return flight.
Now, about that return ticket, some people think just showing the ticket is enough proof they'll leave. Is it?
It helps, but experienced officers know that tickets can sometimes be changed or canceled. It proves you have a way to leave, but not necessarily that you will leave.
So the ticket is necessary, but not sufficient on its own.
Exactly. It supports your claim, but what really convinces the officer is the evidence of the life you must return to. Your ties.
Right. Which leads perfectly into the third, and you said, most important question. Tell me about the ties you have to your home country.
This is it. The make or break question for many applicants. Your entire goal here is to convince the officer with evidence that you have strong, compelling reasons to leave their country and go back home when your visa expires.
You need to show them that strong rope pulling you back.
Precisely. You need to actively list and, ideally, show proof of those ties we defined earlier.
Is there a sort of ranking? Are some ties considered stronger than others?
Generally, yes. Owning property like a house with a mortgage is usually seen as a very strong tie. Family ties, especially having a spouse or young children who are staying behind, are also very powerful.
What about work?
A stable, long-term job, particularly a professional one that you've held for years, is a strong tie. Running your own successful businesses, too. Significant financial assets in your home country bank also count.
What about things like owning a car or having elderly parents to care for or even pets?
Those are definitely ties and worth mentioning, but they might be seen as slightly less binding than, say, a mortgage or dependent children. You want to emphasize the strongest ties first.
And critically, you shouldn't just say you have these ties, right? You need proof.
Absolutely. Don't wait to be asked for every single document. Have them ready, organized in a folder. When they ask about ties, you can say, yes, I own my home. Here is a copy of the deed mortgage statement. I've worked in my company for 10 years. Here is a letter from my employer confirming my position and required return date. I also have my spouse and children here. This is our marriage certificate.
Be proactive with the evidence.
Yes. Bring recent bank statements, maybe the last 3-6 months, to show your financial stability and regular income. Bring proof of property ownership, a wedding certificate, maybe birth certificates for children. And that letter from your employer is key.
What makes a good employer letter?
It should be on official company letterhead. It needs to state your job title, how long you've worked there, maybe your salary, and crucially, the specific dates of your approved vacation leave and the date you were expected back to work. If it mentions you're needed for a specific project, upon return, even better.
So it proves your job is waiting for you and needs you back.
Exactly. It demonstrates a strong professional obligation to return. By presenting all this evidence clearly and confidently, you're actively addressing the officer's main concern and showing you're a low-risk applicant who will respect the visa terms.
Makes perfect sense. Preparation and proof are everything.
Okay, so we've covered the types, the words, the interview nerves. Now let's put it all together and walk through the actual application process, step by step. This general guide applies pretty much anywhere.
Right, a roadmap from start to finish. What's step one?
Step 1. Determine the type of visa. We've talked about this, but it's the foundation. Go only to the official embassy or consulate website of the country you want to visit.
Not just Googling it or asking friends.
Please don't rely on forums or old information. Rules change. The official government site is the only reliable source. Figure out if you need that tourist B2, student F1, work, or something else. Getting this wrong means starting over, losing time and money.
Okay, official website first. Step 2.
Check the requirements. Once you know the visa type, dive deep into the specific document list for that type on the official website. This is where attention to detail is critical.
What kind of details?
Beyond the obvious, like a valid passport, which usually needs at least 6 months validity after your planned departure date, look at things like the photo specifications. Size, background color, glasses on or off, get it wrong, and they'll reject the photo.
Wow, even the photo details matter that much.
Absolutely. Also, check exactly what proof of funds they need for your visa type. Bank statements, sponsor letters, proof of income. Get the right documents. Travel itinerary, proof flight bookings, hotel reservations. Proof of purpose, like that university admission letter or the conference registration.
Okay, meticulous checking of the requirements list. Step 3.
Complete the visa application form. Usually this is done online now.
Yeah.
Accuracy is everything here. Your name must match your passport exactly. Dates must be correct. Answer every question fully and honestly.
What are common mistakes on the form?
Mismatched information, like saying you'll stay for 3 weeks but putting 4 weeks on the form, incorrect passport numbers, leaving sections blank when they should be filled. Any error can cause delays or rejection. Double-check everything before submitting.
Okay, accuracy on the form. Step 4.
Gather time. Supporting documents. Now you collect all those items from the requirements list. My advice, don't just have a messy pile. Get a folder. Use dividers, label things clearly.
Like preparing for an exam.
Exactly. Have originals where required and good quality photocopies of everything. Missing just one key document, like the proof of purpose, can sink your application. Be organized.
Good advice. Step 5.
Pay the visa fee. There's almost always a fee, and it's usually non-refundable even if you're rejected. Check the official website for the exact amount and how to. Sometimes it's online, sometimes a bank transfer, sometimes specific cards only. Keep the receipt.
Non-refundable. Ouch. Okay, step 6.
Schedule an appointment. If your visa type requires an interview or providing fingerprints, biometrics, you'll likely need to book an appointment online through the embassy or a designated service center.
And book early?
Definitely book as early as possible. Appointment slots, especially during peak travel seasons, can fill up weeks or months in advance. Print out your appointment confirmation letter.
Right. Step 7.
Attend the visa interview, if required. We covered the core questions. Remember to dress appropriately. Smart, casual, or business attire is usually best. Be polite, be honest, be confident, but not arrogant. Answer the questions directly. Bring your folder of documents.
Okay, step 8.
Wait for flair. Processing. This is often the hardest part, the waiting game. Processing times vary hugely. Could be a few days, could be several weeks, sometimes even months for complex cases. Try to be patient. Check the embassy website for average processing times, but don't rely on them absolutely.
And don't book non-refundable travel while waiting, just in case.
Very wise advice. Wait until you actually have the visa in your hand.
Which brings us to step 9.
Receive your visa. Hopefully it's approved. When you get your passport back with the visa sticker or the electronic notification, don't just celebrate immediately. Check it carefully.
Check for what?
Errors. Is your name spelled correctly? Are the visa validity dates right? Start date, expiry date. Is it the correct visa type? Mistakes happen, and an error on the visa itself could prevent you from boarding your flight or being allowed entry.
What if there is an error?
Contact the embassy or consulate immediately to get it corrected before you travel.
Okay, that's a crucial final check. So, 9 steps from start to finish. That 9-step guide makes it sound manageable, but we know things can go wrong. What are the common pitfalls people hit, even if they try to follow the steps?
Despite best efforts, challenges pop up. The biggest one still is probably incomplete or inconsistent documentation.
Even after checking the list.
Yes. Maybe the bank statement wasn't recent enough, or the name on the hotel booking doesn't quite match the passport, or the employer letter missed a key detail. The solution is rigorous self-checking. Make your own checklist based on the official site, tick things off, and cross-reference details between documents.
Double and triple check everything. What about those long processing times? Any way around that?
Not really around it, but you can manage it with a start early tip. Seriously, for any important trip needing a visa, begin the process months in advance if you can. 6 months isn't too early for some complex visas or busy embassies. It just removes so much stress.
Plan way ahead. Okay. And what if the worst happens? Rejection.
It's tough, but don't panic.
Yeah.
First, understand why. The rejection notice usually gives a reason, sometimes a specific code you can look up on their website. Was it weak ties? Insufficient funds? Inconsistent information?
And then just apply again immediately.
Probably not wise to just resubmit the exact same application.
Yeah.
You need to address the specific reason for refusal. If it was weak ties, you need to wait until your situation changes or gather much stronger evidence of ties. If it was finances, you need to improve your financial situation or get a stronger sponsor. Address the problem, then consider reapplying later.
Okay, learn from the rejection. Let's wrap up with some final key tips for success. What should listeners absolutely remember?
Okay, top tips. Number 1, start early. Cannot emphasize that enough. Avoid the last-minute rush.
Number 2.
Be honest. Absolutely truthful on the forms and in the interview. Lies or inconsistencies can lead to denial and even future bans.
3.
Follow instructions meticulously. Only use the official embassy consulate website. Follow every single step they outline.
4.
Keep copies of everything.
Yeah.
Application forms, receipts, supporting documents, the visa itself eventually. You might need them later.
And 5.
Stay patient, especially during processing. And one more thing, after you get the visa, stick to the rules. Use the visa only for its intended purpose. If it's a tourist visa, only be a tourist. Don't overstay the allowed duration. Respect the local laws and culture. Breaking the rules can cause serious problems for future travel.
Right. The visa is permission, but it comes with responsibilities.
Exactly. #outrack. So wrapping up, getting a visa is definitely a detailed process. It demands preparation, careful attention to those specific English words like ties and sponsor and honesty. But if you approach it methodically, understand what they're looking for, it becomes much less daunting.
It really is your passport, quite literally, to new experiences, studying, working, exploring.
Absolutely. Careful prep makes it smoother.
Okay, so we talk a lot today about temporary visas and how proving your ties to your home country is absolutely fundamental to convincing the officer you'll return. That job, that house, that family pulling you back.
Right, the core of the non-immigrant application.
So here's a final thought for you, our listeners, to ponder. Think about the opposite scenario. If you were applying for an immigrant visa, planning to move permanently to a new country, what do you think is the very first, maybe the most significant psychological tie to your home country that you would probably need to mentally cut or at least loosen to truly make that permanent move successful? Something to think about.
Interesting question. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of visas. We hope it helps you feel more confident for your next application.
Yeah, hope it makes the process a bit clearer. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive. Safe travels if you're heading off soon.